Good afternoon and welcome to my showcase. My name is Catherine Quarrell and I am the Service Development Manager for the Pain and Fatigue Management Service in Powys. The way we work and live our lives today is changing rapidly. Digital technologies are having a big impact on the way we connect with each other, receive information and access a variety of services. Since the onset of COVID-19, the Pain and Fatigue Management Service has experienced a considerable amount of change. The face-to-face element of the service, as with many throughout the NHS, was suspended in early 2020 and is now being provided as an almost fully virtual service. During the pandemic, the NHS in Wales has had to rapidly adapt and change service provision to sustain healthcare in the community, and non-clinical staff have been expected to embrace this change during a relatively short period of time. This presentation will describe how we set out to provide digital support for non-clinical staff to promote the use of virtual consultations for people with persistent pain and fatigue in rural Powys. Powys makes up a significant footprint in the rural heartland of Wales, covering a large geographical area which borders England and all but one of the other health boards in Wales. At the heart of the Health Board's approach to care is ensuring that it is provided close or closer to home, with the aim that people live independently for as long as possible, enabled by digital technology and changes to the way services and environments are designed. As part of this change, the provision of virtual consultations and running of programs online has become even more important as a result of COVID-19. The Health Board takes a strategic approach in its ambition, not just to respond reactively, but to implement and use digital solutions as well as clinical leadership. Hence, digital first is a key component of the health and care strategy for Powys. Powys Teaching Health Board's Pain and Fatigue Management Service provides services to people who want to live life more fully but are hindered in doing so by persistent pain and/or chronic fatigue. The service is multidisciplinary and the team is made up of clinical and non-clinical staff based in Brontlis in the heart of the Brecon Beacons. It is recognised that administrative staff are often the invisible heroes in healthcare, and the aim of this project was to enhance engagement, build motivation and confidence, to enable the pain and fatigue management team's admin staff to want to promote the use of digital technologies and virtual consultations for people with persistent pain to manage their conditions and improve their quality of life. Supported by funding from the Health Foundation, the Pain and Fatigue Management Service is in the process of designing and developing a user-friendly digital platform to support people referred to the service to help them manage their condition, predominantly using the suite of applications within Microsoft 365, again adding to the digital element of the service. The project will encourage and train the user to support both healthcare professionals and the users of the service to do this without resorting to more traditional methods of delivery. The project had five main aims, and these are making the pain and fatigue management service a truly digital first service, to create a skilled and compassionate workforce that embraces the use of digital technologies, a focus on empowering staff by providing more information and encouraging self-management, electronic booking and the use of web applications and other new technology, developing a sustainable service model that ensures that the right service from the right professional in the right place at the right time, and transforming and developing our workforce in the way that the service is delivered. During the duration of the project, we have rapidly progressed the project through four distinct phases. These are Phase 1, the identification and training of the development needs. This was carried out through a series of discussions and informal workshops and through the use of the pebble in my shoe approach. This enabled us to have a more holistic and welcoming approach to our discussions with staff, which enabled them to be more open and honest in their feedback. Phase 2, coaching and engagement with staff. Through ongoing discussions, development of pathways and protocols, and general support, staff have been encouraged and actively want to be part of the new way of working. With a noticeable change in the last 6 months to now, 100% of the non-clinical staff are now happy with our approach to problem solving and the team's overall approach and engagement with regards to service change. Phase 3, the development of user guides and training material, was where our administrative staff found that they were gaining new skills and were able to utilise these to support our digital service. And Phase 4, evaluation of the service. has taken shape as a two-way involvement to reflect and review and shape the change of the role out of our digital support service. Changing practices that are embedded in the way people work takes time. The project team has overcome these challenges through a series of structured meetings and alternative methods for obtaining valuable feedback from colleagues that contribute to a review of current administrative practices and a shared passion to achieve outcomes that would benefit both staff and individuals accessing the service. However, remaining positive and being enthusiastic about the work we are doing has also enabled us to remain motivated during these difficult times. The work we have undertaken as part of this project has enabled us to develop a more standardised approach across the department's administrative processes, improved staff morale, and as a team, we have been able to evidence through a repeat of staff survey that individuals are feeling more confident in their roles and feel that they have the skills to deliver a better service to our customers. We know from informal discussions, feedback, and through formal questionnaires and team discussions that our admin staff are now able to adapt and respond more positively to change and have the desire and space to innovate. This has enabled them to have an increased sense of pride in the service and a feeling that they have been integral to the change. The Bevan Exemplar scheme provides an opportunity to deliver digital support in an alternative way. Administrative staff have gained new skills and these will be utilised to support a digital service which will be hugely beneficial to the people accessing our service. As a result of the project, we've been able to continue to work to support and invest in the development of both the service and the workforce, continually pursuing quality and value and a prudent approach in everything we do, ensuring that our staff are equipped with the knowledge and skills to enable and support people to take greater responsibility and make informed choices. The opportunity given to us through working with the Bevan Commission has enabled us to empower the non-clinical members of our team to gain the skills and knowledge to provide support to users of our service and healthcare professionals to make the best use of technology and provide an adaptable and equitable service model. With the support of Charles Patterson, digital coordinator for our service, we've managed to successfully take the idea of our project and transform this into a 12-month pilot. As a result of this project, we've been able to take the learning and roll out a digital support service across the whole health board. This service is a blended approach of the Pain and Fatigue Management's own digital support service and the support and guidance developed as part of the project. Already we have recruited 2 members of staff to support this work and have 3 additional services working with the team and 2 more at the initial stages of involvement. Utilising the skills and knowledge of our existing team to train and develop the new recruits and to take on what we have learned through the project and share this knowledge with the wider health board. The project has been the work of many people, without whom it would not have been a success. So thank you to the Bevan Commission team and the other members of this cohort for their support and enthusiasm. To Owen Hughes, Head of Pain and Fatigue Management Service, who encouraged me to apply for the scheme in the first place. To Charles Patterson for going above and beyond to help make this a success. Rebecca Richards for being a huge support of as my coach throughout the process. Pete Hopgood, Director of Finance, who's the Health Board's executive sponsor for the project, and the North Powys Transformation Board, who've given us the funding to roll out the scheme over the next 12 months. And last but not least, to the admin staff, who are the backbone of the NHS and without whom this project would not have been a success.
We will now have a Q&A discussion. What was the reaction of your staff?
I mean, you're absolutely right. We when we first sort of started discussing the project, you could see the look in their eyes of, oh God, here we go again. I've already got a busy day job, and now they want me to do more. Um, but actually, one of the first things I did was just let them talk to me. So I facilitated a just a cup of tea in our. We've got a lovely room overlooking our garden, and I just let them talk to me. I just let them tell me all of the things that they think are difficult and they think are problematic with the way that we're doing things. And actually, from that discussion, we were able to pick out a huge number of themes and things that needed working on, that we could then some of the things we could action straight away and some of the things we couldn't. And that was very much the sort of the pebble in our shoe approach of what can we do to solve your problem straight away, and what other things do we need to work longer on. And I think when they saw that we actually were serious about making change and actually we were taking their ideas on board, a lot of them then came with us. We have lost a member of staff in the process. She's moved on to a different department, a more traditional department, and I think that's a reflection on her as a person. She would never have wanted to come along on the journey with us, and we've also gained new members of staff who have, really sort of just embraced the work that we're doing. So yeah, that's been part of the work that we've done, really, is just listening to people and showing them that actually some of the small changes that we can make, we will do. So
What about the impact on your service and the people you are providing the service for?
I think one of the biggest impacts is that we're possibly one of the only services in Powys who have got the digital facilitators, and we utilise them fully, and therefore we are able to get all but a very small percentage of our clients to be able to interact with us digitally. So that's huge. Um, some of the barriers have been, oh gosh, some of the barriers have been, getting people to not see that this is extra work and that this is going to assist them along the way. So it might feel that they're learning something new now and it's difficult now, but actually in time it becomes easier. So that's probably one of the biggest barriers. But
Yeah.
yeah, we the benefits have far outweighed any of that.
Yeah, I think the most impactful thing is actually being able to help people get more value from the health service. So we got people not fast track, but we got people to see their consultants and to take part in group sessions who otherwise would be on a waiting list. And goodness knows what will be happening to them there. And from a duplication perspective, this absolutely can be lifted and dropped wherever. And to a certain extent, we've proved that with how we've rolled it out to other areas within Powys as well. So I think it's fundamental to a modern health service. Actually, we've got to be able to provide people with choice. And an awful lot of people now are choosing not to go to places to physically see people. They are choosing to do things online. They're choosing to do things face to face via Teams. And I think we do need to reflect that in the services that we provide.
Was going to say, especially when you live somewhere like Powys, where quite often, it is a very long way to travel. And, you know, reflecting on Tamsin's presentation, we did a piece of work with Steve Bromley, who's the sustainability officer, environmental officer for Powys. And actually, the majority of our clients were traveling half an hour to an hour to come to Brontleys to see us, often in pain or with fatigue. And so, just for them to be able to be seen in their own home, not only was it a benefit for the client, but actually a huge environmental saving and a huge environmental impact as well. So
How might digital facilitators fit into other structures in your and other areas?
So the digital facilitators with us have sort of got a dual role. So they will provide direct support to people who access the service. So they'll be that person who rings the client and works through how to get them online. So they might have a problem with connecting to their Wi-Fi or their sound, and so Charles and Casey and the rest of the team will be that person who rings that individual and works through how to get them online and gives
Mm.
people the hints and tips to be able to do that themselves. They also then are working with people within the health board to provide them with the skills to do that. So when they're phoning Mrs. Jones and she says, "Oh, I don't like using my computer," they've got the ability to say, "Well, don't panic. If you do this, this, and this, you will be able to get online." And actually, in one way, then there's no need for the digital facilitator, because that member of staff has already actioned that, and hopefully it will become second nature and part of their everyday role, to encourage people to access services digitally.
Where are you going to take this next?
So we were really fortunate that actually part of, as a result of the project that we've done and the result of the good work that our digital facilitators do, we were able to get money from the North Powys Transformation Fund to roll out the project across the whole of Powys. So we've been given 12 months funding to be able to roll this out and replicate it across Powys. So we're working with the Foodwise team and the dietetics team. We're working with the integrated autism team, and we're just about to engage with our psychology team. All of people who really want to get involved with accessing services digitally. I'd like to crack some of the other therapies teams who are still convinced that their people don't have computers and don't want to access things digitally, and do want to come in and come in and sit in a waiting room and be seen in person. And I think that's my next thing that we need to crack, is that
Well,
we need to try and persuade that
yeah.
team otherwise, really.
Has this enabled you to reach more people?
Yes, definitely. I mean, Charles probably knows the stats slightly better than I do, but it is literally almost 100% of the people who are referred into the service are being seen digitally. There are very, very few people who we can't access through this medium. Um, we've rolled out the long COVID service while we've been working through this, and we're just about to take on the weight management service as well. So yes, definitely being able to see more people. Um, and like Charles mentioned earlier, that these are people who need to be seen. And actually, at one point, we weren't able to offer a face-to-face service. So, they would have just been sat waiting for somebody to have some sort of contact with them had we not been able to do this. Or they would have had to have possibly, used the telephone, which is not an unacceptable method of contact, but being able to see somebody face to face, or being able to join a group session, is just far more beneficial.
As you are aware,
So yes, we've supported just over 100 people now to get to their consultations and their group sessions, and we've managed to get everybody through apart from 3. And the one of those was a technology issue, in that their devices that they had at that particular time weren't capable of supporting Microsoft Teams, and the other 2 were actually, I used the word capability issue. We spent a lot of time with them, but they weren't in the right space to be able to learn something new and didn't want to. The approach we take is very gentle, very supportive. We talk about being hand in hand with them as we're taking them through the process, and we let them learn in their time. So some sessions can take 10 to 15 minutes. We've had I certainly had one myself that I've done, took over 50 minutes, but that was a rare occasion.
are you aware of any other projects like this in Wales? If not, how do we share this?
Well, as long as you don't poach our digital facilitators, then that. But no, we're not. And we had a conversation with the pain team in Betsy, and they were really interested in the role of the digital facilitator, and they weren't aware of it there. And I've worked previously in Cwmtaf Health Board, and they don't have anything like that down south. So no, we're not. We're really, really fortunate that our head of service had the foresight, even before the pandemic, to invest budget in digital facilitators, because he just knew that digital, especially working in somewhere like Powys, that digital was the way forward.
How could this be developed in a telehealth context?
Yes, I mean that sort of fits with one of our other projects that we're working on, and we're looking at developing a portal to provide that shared care approach. So people will be able to access a central record, and clinicians will be able to access that record, and they'll be able to share care. In real time, people will be able to access learning and resources when they're available, when they feel like it. People with chronic pain and fatigue don't often like being up early in the morning for an appointment at 9 o'clock. So actually, some people are able and more willing to learn and access resources in the evenings when they feel better, or when their medication has had chance to work. So yeah, so that's something that we're working on, and again, that's through Microsoft Teams, and that's something that we are being watched at on a national and a local level, to develop that, because actually if we can crack that, then that's something that can be rolled out to all teams, and all services, and certainly would facilitate that sort of care. That, yeah, so that's where we're moving to next.
Is there opportunity to provide digital resources like iPads to those without digital access?
We haven't been providing for resources, but I understand there's a project going on with the libraries, that they're loaning out iPads to people, and Pavo are rolling out a project. Pavo's our local association of volunteer organisations, and they're rolling out a project that is setting up local hubs in community centres and libraries and things, so people can actually go to the hub and actually be supported in person to access their appointment or their group session, with the help of somebody. So there's always going to be people who won't be able to do it over the phone with the model that we've got, but actually that Pavo are working on that, to be able to do that in the community, and they're just about to start to pilot something in Newtown.